Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a very wonderful and amazing week. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live, welcome back and thanks so much for joining here. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Thank you so much for joining. We are here every week and we talk about all things mental health and wellness so you can work on how do you become the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for those around you. And for those of you who are tuning in to the replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube, welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining. Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And thank you all for joining here. Thanks so much for joining here. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. Hopefully I can see the chat today. I never know. It's so crazy with technology. So sometimes I can see all of your responses, and unfortunately, sometimes I can't, or sometimes it comes in delayed lately. But nonetheless, let me know where you're tuning in here from in the chat. For those of you who are new, I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, but I'm often somewhere else, in some other city. But today I'm in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, so that's where I'm tuning in from. And yeah, the next couple months I'll be in different places, but I will be letting you all know where I'm at. So again, thanks so much for joining here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. If you didn't know already, it is still Mental Health Awareness Month, the month of May, which is super exciting. One of my favorite months of the year because we have a lot of conversations. You've probably seen a lot of things on social media or just on the news or things in general related to mental health and wellness. And thanks for tuning in from San Francisco. Welcome back. So it's a great month. So speaking of mental health awareness, before I start today, some of you may have already heard the news. I announced it last week, I believe. But I'll remind you all again, I'm super excited because my new book is finally on pre-order. You can pre-order it at mindsettrainingbook.com. It's called Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the Rest Will Follow. I'm super excited about the book. Of course, it's been several years in the making, actually. So to have it on pre-order, I'm super, super excited about. But if you go to that website, it has all the information about the book. I'm also giving away, because I like to give away things, different bonuses for pre-ordering. So there's a lot of great tools in addition to the book that you'll get, obviously, when it comes out. So again, mindsettrainingbook.com. And for today's mental health moment, I do want to share with you some tips on how do you prevent burnout, because this is becoming a topic that I'm hearing time and time and time again. People, when I speak to different groups about stress management, actually, and I'm asking the audience, like, how are you doing? Are you checking in with yourself? I'm hearing a lot of, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed out. Frankly, one of my last presentations, I'll never forget, someone in the audience was just like very honest, but we all chuckled, and he was just like, I need a break, right? So maybe you're in that boat. And first of all, it's okay to acknowledge, you know what, I'm stressed out. I need to take a reset, recharge, or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to give you 5 tips today. So for those of you who jot down your notes, get your pen and paper ready. And hi, and thank you so much. Someone said they're here from Virginia, and congrats on the book. Thank you. So for those of you who have pen and paper, or if you're on your phone or wherever you're jotting down notes, for my note takers, here's 5 today that I have for you to think about. How do you prevent burnout? Because again, the good news is burnout is preventable. You don't have to wait till you get to the point of exhaustion where your body is so just wrecked and so burnt out, so physically exhausted, or mentally you're exhausted, or emotionally you're exhausted. You don't have to wait all the way till you get to that point, right? And you can't function anymore. You can put things into place for you, put strategies into place for you so you don't get to that point. Now, if you already are at the point though, it happens to a lot of people, then now you have to work on implementing and putting in the reset and recharge, right? To kind of reverse the process, if you will. Uh, Thanks so much. Someone said, keep inspiring. Hashtag May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Yes, it is. It's a great month. Maybe I'm a little biased, but it's a great month. But anyhow, okay, so the 5 tips for you all today. The first one has to do with technology. So I don't know if you guys have heard this term. I love it personally when it comes to technology, but it's something called a digital detox. So the first thing for you to think about to prevent burnout for you is a digital detox. Now, that comes in many different forms, you all. I've known of people, I have not done it personally myself, nor do I plan to, honestly. But I've known of people who have said, you know what, I am off of all social media platforms for like fill in the blank for a month, 3 months, a year, however long they need. They're like, I got to detox. I got to get off, um, whatever. They have to get off social media, for example. Clearly, I'm not doing that because I'm here with you all live every week. So and that's just not something for me personally that I do, but it doesn't even have to be in that extreme that you have to totally take yourself off of something for, a whole year, right? Unless you need that. So other ways that you can do it though is you can say, hey, it's not just social media. It's a digital detox is uh, getting away from a lot of the screens that we have. So especially our cell phones, or our laptops or tablets or TVs or whatever other electronic screens around you. It's saying, hey, I'm going to devote a part of my day, week, month, or whatever to remove myself from that. Otherwise, it can take a toll. So if you're on your phone all day, and I don't know what your feed consists of, but if it's a whole bunch of negative things that you're seeing, it can really take a toll. So taking a step back from that, or the same thing again with television, depending on what you're watching, or oh, okay, I don't know why I did that. Hold on a minute, you all. Sorry, I had a little thing that popped up. Let me see if I can do this. Of course, in the middle of the live, and okay, I think that worked. All right, sorry about that. Maybe it might have disconnected for a second. For some reason, I had a pop up message. Nonetheless, speaking of technology, right? Of course. But nonetheless, making sure that you take the time that you need to do a digital detox. So again, for some of you, you might be like, you know what? Every day I'm going to decide for 20 minutes out of my day not to be involved with anything electronic screen that is distracting me from doing something else that I'd rather be doing. Or for some of you, you might say within your week or within your month, right? So whatever it is, work on taking that digital detox time, because what that can do for you is it can actually lower your stress level, especially if that is causing you. And you all know, 'cause you have to make your own assessments, but you all know what it is within that that might be causing you stress. So again, maybe it's some type of tablet, maybe it's your phone, maybe it's computer, TV, whatever it is for you that you need to make a shift on. Um, yep. Someone said, "Oh, thank you so much." Someone else said, "Congrats on your book." Thank you. Someone said, "Yes, that's me on my phone most of the day, trying to get away from that." Yeah. And here's the thing, for that person that wrote that, like, you are not alone. You are not alone in that. It's hard sometimes. We have our cell phones. I don't know about you all, but sometimes if I have to run into somewhere, I'm almost like I have to make sure I have my cell phone with me before a wallet or something. Like it's like you have to all we have to always keep our cell phones around, and it's just we're constantly, if it's not someone maybe texting you, or maybe you're getting an email, or maybe you're watching social media, like it is really in your face all day if you allow it to be. So that's a good, thank you for sharing that. You're not alone. Absolutely, that's literally a gazillion of us on the planet, which is why it's important for us though to make sure we're having that digital detox time for us. Um, Good evening from Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome. My first time tuning in. Hey, welcome, welcome, first timer. Awesome. All right, so that's tip number one. So for those of you who are new, this is normally around 20-ish minutes or so, and I'm already at almost 10. So I'll go through the other ones a little quickly. Sometimes 25-ish, but I try to make it short enough. I know. Thank you all, by the way, for taking the time out for yourselves to watch this, but at the same time, I know we're all busy, right? So I'm gonna give you these tips. So number one, again, was taking a digital detox in the form that works for you. Number two, My favorite thing is taking what's called a creativity break throughout your day. So a creativity break means for you, well, first, here's a question for you to ask yourself. What is it for you that you do that you feel is creative? Right? We all have different talents and all have different gifts. For you, it might be drawing, which is not at all a talent that I have at all. Like I'm at stick figure, I don't know, like second grade level with my drawings. So not a talent I have personally, but for you, you might be great at drawing. You might be great at painting. You might express yourself creatively through gardening or through cooking or through writing or some way that you express your creativity. Usually it's something that someone has been like, wow, you're really good at fill in the blank, like something creative. I know I always see it on Instagram, which is so cool to me. But people that decorate cakes, for example, like gorgeous, amazing, beautiful cakes. And I think that's so cool. And it's such a creative skill to have, right? So maybe that's you, or in some other way. I actually like to bake. I'm not a huge, I don't decorate cakes at all, but I do like to bake just things that I find online and try different recipes. And I also write, of course. So there's different ways that I like to express my creativity as well. But for you, again, think about what is it for you, and you can put in the chat. And hey, first timer, another first timer, welcome, welcome. For those of you who are just tuning in, it's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Today, we're talking about 5 ways that you can work on preventing burnout for you. Uh, so the second thing, as I mentioned, was making sure you take creativity breaks throughout the day. So whatever it is for you that you allow yourself to be creative, there's so many different things. As I mentioned, just a couple of examples. Make sure you take that time because what it does for your brain too, again, is it's lowering your stress level. What is it that you enjoy? What brings you joy? What helps to reset, recharge you? What is it that you can utilize to have, what's your creative outlet, right? Make sure that you engage in those things. And for some of you, let's say you're at work and you're like, my creative outlet is gardening. Not saying to go home, of course, and go garden, right? There might be not be something you could do right then and there during your work day, but what else can you do during your day that you find to be creative, that you can take a short amount of time even to incorporate in your day or at a minimum in your week. Thank you so much. Someone say congrats on you, but thank you. I appreciate you all. So that's the second thing. So the third thing is also one of my favorites as well, and something I utilize as well is called a movement micro break. And what that means, I know you've heard it before, so this is a reminder one for this one, but it's so important, you all. We spend a lot of time sitting. Most of us spend a lot of time sitting. We don't move as often necessarily, depending on what type of job you have, or maybe you're retired or whatever it is you're doing. But a lot of us spend time, almost too much time sitting. So, because of that, it's important to take what's called micro breaks. So, I'm not saying like, hey, well, yes, you should be exercising, but in addition to your exercise, if you can take short amount of time each day to do some type of a movement. So, it could be if you have a desk job, let's say, you stand up, if you're able to, you stand up and you walk around for like a couple of minutes, or you stand up and you stretch, or you stand up and, whatever other way that you want to move your body. It's just really important. There's all sorts of mini exercises that you can do, but it's really important to be getting that movement in. It helps with blood flow, it helps with your stress level again. It helps to reset you. It works on lowering your exhaustion level. So think about how can you take those movement micro breaks. And a good reminder for those of you who are like, oh, I don't know if I can remember to do that, which is okay. Again, we have a lot on our minds, a lot on our plates, right? You can always set an alarm on your phone. So if some people say, "Hey, I want to take this break," every hour or every 2 hours or every 3 hours or whatever it is. You can always set yourself a reminder right on your phone, just to be like, "Okay, micro break," and just name it that, or movement micro break, and name it that on your phone, right? So that way you know. I know my watch, my Apple Watch. Sometimes they'll be like, "Hey, just a reminder, try to stand up within this hour to get your stand credit or whatever." But if you don't have some type of reminder on a watch or something like that. You can just do it on your phone as well. And remind yourself again to take that time, do a stretch. I mean, some of you, if you want to do like a push up, or if you want to do a squatting, or if you want to walk, or whatever it is, just something to move your body more frequently than you normally would. All right, so next one. Two more to go. So the fourth one is my okay. I've been saying my favorite for all of them, you guys. This is like a favorite list. I said the second was my favorite, and the third, and then the fourth. I'm like, yep, that's my favorite too. So I like all of these tips, and these are things that I integrate in my life as well. For those of you who are new, because I see a lot of first timers today, one of the reasons why I'm really passionate about teaching burnout prevention is because years ago, I did hit burnout. I know personally what that's like professionally as a psychologist. I know what it does to your body and your mind, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically when you hit that point, which is why I'm passionate about you all learning this information so you hopefully don't get to the point where you're hitting burnout. But even if you are there, you can work on, like I said, reversing some of the effects so it, well, doesn't worsen. Because if you don't treat burnout over time, it will worsen and turn into something else. It could worsen and turn into something else. Okay, so the fourth thing. The fourth thing is having a gratitude practice. Really, really important. There's actually research, there's science that shows the benefits of gratitude for you. And when I say gratitude practice, that literally is what you make it. Welcome from Augusta, Georgia. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Your book is godsend. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So for your gratitude practice, and that's actually something I talk about in the book too. But different ways to express gratitude, but it goes both ways. It's feeling gratitude for whatever it is you're thankful for in your life, and also expressing it as well to whomever you need to express it to. So having that practice for you, some of you all know, I know some of you said you're new today. If you're not new, you probably remember this from another mental health moment, but I think it's been 2 years now. I kind of lost track of time a little bit, but a while back, I started integrating. So one of my gratitude practices is as soon as I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I force myself to think about is what am I grateful for in the last, for me personally, I just say the last, like within the week. So it could either be, something that happened yesterday, or something happened a couple of days ago, or something that's about to happen in the next couple of days. So I try to make it current versus like, I'm happy about something that happened 10 years ago, which I am grateful for those things too. But for my personal gratitude practice, I try to keep it current. But that I literally force myself, y'all, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, start with gratitude. That's how I start every single morning. So for you, you might say, okay, I have my morning gratitude practice if you want to have it in the morning, or you can say at night, I want, to write down 3 things I'm grateful for, or maybe it's a midday where you stop yourself and you think about, what it is that you're grateful for. You might want to write 20 things down. Whatever it is for you that you can do, but it's really important. It's really important mentally and emotionally and physically and spiritually to be in the practice of gratitude, because it does positive things to your brain and your body and your spirit. My body, spirit, like it covers all 3, right? With gratitude. So really, really important. Okay, and the last one, number 5, as a wrap up here. Number 5, what's also really important for you to prevent burnout is for you to make sure you're connecting in your community, whatever it is that looks like for you. Some examples, you all know, for those of you who are not new, that I'm a big, huge fan of giving back. I'm usually involved in something or another in the community to give back, because that's one thing that's really great for your mental health is giving back to others. But the other part of giving back to others is you get to connect with other people in your community. You get to connect with others, and connecting for you might be with coworkers, it might be with friends, it might be with family members. Okay, you all, I don't know what's happening today. Sorry, pause one moment because I got another crazy little message here that maybe, hold on, let's see. Okay. All right. So if for some reason, for those of you, especially I think on Facebook, it was saying that it might have disconnected. Hopefully it's connected again. I just keep getting these pop-up messages. Go figure. Technology. But nonetheless, it's really important for you to think about, how do you have a sense of connection? It can be, again, friends, it can be family members, it can be in the community. I know another event I was at the other day, truthfully, a woman said, she wants to connect with others, but for her in her life, there were, um, well, many toxic individuals in her space and whomever it is in her life. So, though the positive thing is that there's support groups, great support groups out there like NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. They have great support groups. For example, there's a lot of different support groups. There's also places where you can volunteer and again, just connect with others, just have that sense of connection and community. The other day, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I was volunteering at a food bank, at a local food bank, and honest to God, well, it was a little bit of a stressful time. A couple of days, there was a lot going on. And what was so fascinating to me was this was a food bank that I hadn't been at before. And so the people there were so amazing. Like they were the kindest, just greatest. They're so great. It was just so great to be around them. We're not best friends, right? But like just to be around people that were like-minded and they're like, let's help the community and just doing great things. And they were jovial. And it was just such a great experience. And for a short amount of time, I kind of forgot about some of the stresses and the things that were happening because I got a chance to just be around great community members, right? And that was my first time meeting them. So that's just one example, right? Spending your time again, if maybe for whatever reason right now you're like, man, Dr. Hammond, there's a lot of negative people around me. Maybe that's your situation. Hopefully not. But if it is, again, there's support groups, there's places where you can volunteer, there's places you can get involved with other community members, meeting other people. But it's really really critically important, no matter what connection looks like for you, that you are connecting with other people. Again, a gazillion research articles on the benefits of social support and connection. But that's going to be the last tip I have for you for today about how do you prevent burnout. But again, really, really important for you to be thinking about who is it that I need to, if you don't already, be connecting with, right? Who is it that can add more support in my support network in my life? Um, good evening to you as well. Um, thanks so much for joining here. So those are my 5 tips for you all today. Before I wrap up again, if you're just not tuning in, so my new book, Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the Rest Will Follow, which I'm super excited about, is on pre-order right now. It's at mindsettrainingbook.com. It has all the information about the book, how to pre-order, and also if you go specifically to that site, then you can also join and get bonuses and all that fun stuff along with the book, actually, of course, when it comes out. So head over there that way. If you all need me before next Tuesday, you can also reach out on my website, drnikishahammond.com, or you can connect with me on Instagram, dr.hammond, Twitter, or X now as it's called, LinkedIn, Dr. Nikisha Hammond, or what am I missing? Facebook. I'm always trying to remember all the platforms there. But nonetheless, be sure to connect. I'm usually sharing some mental health resource or different events or, what I'm working on. Right now, there's going to be a lot of podcast interviews coming up, but I'm going to put them all on my website if you all are interested in those interviews as well, talking about self-care and more burnout prevention with different hosts. So that should be pretty exciting coming up here. And let me put it actually really quick because it's coming up here. And then the last thing I'll say, oops, let me turn this on. The last thing I'll remind you of, many of you already know, but I will be speaking at the Get to Worthy Summit in Philadelphia, it's May 24th and 25th, which is like rapidly coming up here. But you can always use my promo code Hammond10 to register if you're interested in that event. It's hosted by my amazing friend, Nate Evans Jr., and it's going to be an emotional and mental health summit. It's going to be so amazing. I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited to be there and be speaking. But it's gettoworthysummit.com. And yeah, and I will, there's some other events I'm speaking at too, but yeah, I'll let you all know the ones that are open to the public. I'll let you all know as I have that information. And there'll be different places in the country. And so I'll let you all know as I know that information. So I think that is all my announcements. Okay, so I will see you all Back here, right here, live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be blessed. Have an amazing week. Be sure to start implementing those 5 tools. Put those into your toolkit so you can prevent burnout and so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for those around you. So I will see you all next week. Be blessed. Have an amazing week and take care of yourselves.